Hi, I'm Imme Ermgassen. I am co-founder of Botivo Drinks. I joined Botivo a year and a half as a co-founder, and my background is consumer strategy, consumer understanding, and brand building. Worked for all kinds of brands from Nike to Heineken to Diageo for almost 20 years. Botivo is a delicious aperitif-inspired non-alcoholic drink. It is made on Lannick Farm in Hertfordshire, and it takes almost a year to make, in fact, over a year to make the liquid. It's got a herbal, bittersweet, citrus taste profile. And if you think about how it's made, it is an aged apple cider vinegar base that's aged for 12 months to soften it and reduce the acidity. And then it is infused with rosemary, thyme, gentian, wormwood, orange zest, and then balance that with honey. To drink it, it's super simple. Actually, I'm drinking one right now. You just add sparkling water and a slice of orange. That's our OG, our signature serve. But actually, it's super versatile and it works with like ginger beer, it works with a tonic, and actually, it's amazing in alcoholic cocktails as a modifier as well. So the kind of idea behind it is you should be able to have a Botivo on the table, whether you're drinking or not drinking, everyone feels included and is drinking something which is delicious. So people, I think, often ask us what Botivo means and they're hoping for a sort of big story, but actually it literally is botanicals and aperitivo put together, Botivo. I got involved in Botivo for a very, very simple reason, which was I tried it and it's just been delicious. The non-alcoholic category was not something I'd ever kind of considered before. And I was at a friend's house, I was past the Botivo. It was when it had just, the liquid had just been made, but it was the old branding. And I tried it and it just completely blew my mind. It was just so complex. It was sort of savory and I didn't like sweet drinks. I just couldn't believe that I could be so satisfied and like refreshed from a drink that didn't have alcohol in it. So actually I approached Sam, my co-founder, who's the maker of Botivo, and I sort of hounded him and wrote a whole proposal for where I wanted to take the brand, how excited I was about it. And luckily at that time he was looking for a partner in crime to be his business partner, and we became co-founders. So Sam, I mentioned, is my co-founder. He's an amazing drinks maker. He makes every single batch of Botivo by hand with Nikki, who's works with him in production, who came from Brewdog. And the whole kind of idea behind Botivo came about because we wanted to create a product which had sort of the best taste, a really powerful taste. And actually, the base of Botivo is aged apple cider vinegar and honey. The reason why aged apple cider vinegar and honey were picked were for kind of two key reasons. One was what you just mentioned, which is they are natural preservatives. So actually, they keep everything fresh and it doesn't go off without having to have any kind of dangerous or sort of nasty preservatives like potassium sorbate. But secondly, and actually probably most importantly, is apple cider vinegar is an amazing carrier of flavour. So if you infuse botanicals into apple cider vinegar, it goes really, really deeply into the molecules, if you like, and actually it's able to take on flavour in a really powerful way, which water-based products can't. So by using honey and apple cider vinegar, really, really punchy taste, but also the ability to last for 2 years with no preservatives and actually 1 year when open even. When I think about the non-alcoholic category, one of the things that I feel is glaringly missing are the kind of maker stories, the scene behind the scenes of how the products are made. And there's only a handful of brands that are making things from raw ingredients, that are taking time to make their products. Most are still outsourced and sort of made in fragrance houses or factories. And what I'd really love to see is more brands coming into the market who are taking a really long time to make the product, that are having kind of real craftsmanship in it, and who are using kind of raw materials to kind of extract that flavour and make sure it is really complex. Because if you buy a stock or you make a stock at home, it's a completely different experience. And I'd love to see the non-alcoholic industry doing more of that. So Sam is an amazing drinks maker and actually a founder of another business before. So he actually started off as a chef and then a bartender. and then runs an amazing business called The Rum Runner, which makes the drinks for the bars of like really high net worth and sort of really sort of private clients. So to give you a sense of his skill, he was sort of handpicked to make the drinks for the royal wedding in 2018, and he kind of constructs them from scratch. So his business always made drinks from scratch. And Botivo actually, in its first ever iteration, was created for his private events. People kept then asking, where they could buy it. They were like, it's delicious. And that's when he realized, actually, I'm going to bottle it and sell it. And then I joined shortly afterwards. Our branding is, we worked with an agency called Beach who helped with the design, but the illustration is done by this absolutely incredible artist called Rosalina Bakova. She's actually Bulgarian, she lives in Barcelona, and if you look at her work, she just does these amazing scenes. She has lots of different styles, but she does these amazing kind of banquet scenes, and I've been a massive admirer of her work for a long time. But I think what's amazing about her work is she creates these scenes where when you look at them, you just want to be in there and partying with those people and having a great time. And I think what we wanted to do with Botivo was make sure that people understood that this isn't a moderation drink. This is a pleasure drink. And it's quite different in that sense. So the whole brand world is built around this idea of joie de vivre, this idea of kind of hedonism, this idea of pleasure seekingness. Because just because you're not drinking alcohol doesn't mean that those things can't happen. If you're drinking a product which is extremely well made and delicious and sort of pleasure giving. So that's kind of where the art sort of work came from. And the yellow, it was again very intentional. It's a really positive brand. It's delicious in the summer. It is something which is really uplifting and positive, and it's something which we felt was really important within a category which feels quite heavy often and quite earnest. So we wanted to disrupt it in that way. Yeah, we talk about the yellow hour a lot as a kind of consumption moment or an occasion when people drink Botivo. And for us, the yellow hour it's a very specific moment. It's that moment when you clock out of work, and it's that moment you've been looking forward to all day, and you want something absolutely delicious in that moment, and you deserve something delicious in that moment, and that's your Botivo time. So everything around the product, from undoing the wax top, to pouring it with sparkling water and a slice of orange, and the ritual is all about easing into your yellow hour and really getting that drink that you deserve, which has been handcrafted for you in that moment. My number one piece of advice is you have to hustle. And I think it's something that I always sort of heard about before we became founders, but it's really true. You don't have the money to pay to be on things, so you have to knock on people's doors. You have to go and hassle heads of bars and sommeliers and try and get them to try your product. And I think with the non-alcoholic space, the biggest challenge is that so many people have had such bad experiences in the past when the category was less developed, and they're often not really willing to give non-alcoholic drinks a try if they've been burnt. And so the whole first stage is often, how do you even get people tasting it? How do you get people opening their minds to the fact that these new products are actually really delicious? So I think the biggest thing is just getting people to taste it and making sure that tastemakers are vocal about it if they love it. Yeah, so I mean, for me, the non-alc industry is in a massive transition stage. So where I see it going, and hopefully 2 years, if not before, is actually moving towards what I call an ABV agnostic sort of category, where actually it's not based on how many percentage ABV or alcohol you have in your product, but much more dependent on sort of how the quality with which a product is made. I don't think consumers are necessarily wanting alcoholic, non-alcoholic drinks. I think they're just wanting really well-made, delicious drinks, and pitting them up against each other, I think, creates sort of divisions that don't need to happen. And actually, for me, I just want to have a really well-made drink, whether it's got alcohol or no alcohol in it. So for me, that's where the category is heading. I am actually drinking it right now. I am obsessed with it, and people always laugh at me because they say things like, you don't have to drink it because it's your brand. But I'm genuinely obsessed with it, and this is the OG. as I call it, and it's literally just sparkling water, Botivo, and a slice of orange. And for me, that's all you need. It's so complex. You don't need sugary tonic. You don't need anything else added to it. Some people like it and love it. I'm an original soda girl. Botivo, so we are in lots of different places. On our website, which is botivodrinks.com. We're also the first non-alcoholic drink outside of beer in Whole Foods. We are in Selfridges, we're in Dalesford, we're in loads of independent delis, from the Earl of East through to wine shops like Reserved Wines. We're about to go on to the Wine Society. So yeah, lots of independent, amazing places out there, and hopefully more grocers in the future. What is next? Wow, we are continuing to sort of build our brand, build our presence. We want to get into more stores to make sure that everyone has accessible and delicious non-alcoholic drinks on their doorstep. And we'll be doing these limited edition collaborations I spoke about, where actually we'll be having completely new flavors and new products that people can taste.